today's topic is what does it mean to be a professional, right? I think a couple of you have requested this topic earlier. Many of you have recently joined the company, and for some of you it is your first job. So I feel it is important that okay, how do SJI wants to see their employees being a professional or looking like a professional or behaving like a professional, right? So there's something I'll try to touch base on a few of these things with enough examples so that there's no question for you or that there's no doubt for you that, okay, what does it mean to be a professional? So by definition, right, of a professional, it has to be related to or connected with a profession, obviously, right? That you have to have a profession in order to be professional. Now, this is something that is not your pastime, not your hobby, right? You cannot say, I like to do gardening on weekend. That means you're not a gardener. You're not a professional gardener, right? It's your hobby. If you say, I play football on Sundays only. Yes, that's your hobby, right? Maybe even you play for a club, but you're not a professional footballer because that's not your bread and butter. So what the way we understand it, that's something that gets you your bread and butter for your family, for yourself, that takes care of your necessity, right? That's your profession. And that's something that you considered as a career, right? Profession is something, oh, I'll do it for 2 months, then I'll do something for another 2 months. That's not a career, right? Because you are undecided. Think of this, many of us, when we went to school, we were undecided majors, right? I don't know about you guys. I was, because I really didn't know what I wanted, right? I explored different things, accounting, computer science, business. I took different classes and then I decided, okay, what exactly do I want? So if you are going through that phase, that means you are not sure. Or if you are not sure, what do you want to do in your life as a professional? So that means you haven't decided on your career. And you are still doing something that can be considered as your pastime because your heart and soul is not there in that job, whatever you are doing, whether being a designer, developer, QA, HR, office admin, whatever that is. So what does it mean for you? Why are you here? Okay. So I want some of you to answer this question. Okay. So this session, I'm not going to ask question then. So I want you to tell me now that, okay, being a professional means something, something, so that I can do something, something. We all are here for a reason, right? It could be that I want to become a good doctor so that I can help the poor, right? That can be a reason for you being a doctor or for a doctor being a doctor, right? That's just one example. Another one can be being a professional gives me an opportunity to make lots of money so that I can retire rich. That can be another reason, right? So I want to know, what is your reason? Why are you here? Why did you select, or why are you doing whatever you are doing in the company right now? Or what is your vision of being a professional? Okay, I think Partho, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think initially I didn't sort of like that I will be professional for that reason. But for the time being, as I am learning what is professionalism and how we can manage things professionally. Now I am thinking about that okay, there is some means of to be a professional. And yeah, I am feeling like, yeah, I think being a professional means influencing people's life, so that it can be better, so that they can be better in their whatever they are doing, influencing people's life so that they can be better on their, I mean, places, whatever they are doing. I mean, it's a big thing, but I'm just, I'm thinking of that. Okay, I think I can do it. I can pursue it, something like that.
Okay, all right, cool. Akshata, what about you? The reason I'm asking you this question specifically because you are involved in hiring, right? Initial recruitment. So I'm pretty sure everybody says, "Oh, I will do good." So, what do you see in a professional, or what is your initial criteria when you first see a resume, right, or CV, or when you meet somebody for the first time face to face when they come to the office? What do you look in them? What do you expect them to do in terms of culture, knowledge, and so and so? Akshata, I can hear you.
Okay. So when I interview somebody, what I expect from them is like, they want to work. It's not that they are come here for time pass or something like that. That seriousness has to be there. So that is one thing, the cultural fit, because there are some candidates who have so much of attitude and arrogance that they don't want to gel up with somebody else. They can excel as an individual, but not as a team. So the hunger to grow and also to work with other people so that they can help the organization in a way that we become a better company or a better work environment.
Very nice. Sadul, what does it mean for you to be a professional?
I would say being responsible and self-motivated, proactiveness. These things I look for mostly when I think of someone who is professional.
Awesome. Excellent answer. So responsible, sincere, right? These are the keywords that both Akshata and Saidul mentioned, that they look for somebody who they can trust, who will take responsibility of whatever is being assigned to them, right? So that's key because you are working on a team environment, not as an individual, right? So being a professional does not mean that, okay, I know how to do it, or I alone know how to do it, right? Or I'll do it when I feel like doing it, right? This is a responsibility that one must take. So being a professional, again, it can mean different things to you. As Partha said, he wants to influence people, right? That's also a goal, right? Okay, being a professional, he wants to do not just his job only, but he wants to do it in a way that influences other people to be a professional. Maybe he wants to do um, activities outside office, right, where people can see, oh, this is how a developer does their work, so I want to be a developer, right? That's influencing people, right? Or you can say I'm a designer, so I teach people in schools, or I go to community outreach programs and so and so, and people see me. I carry myself as a professional. They like what I do or the way I do things, so they also want to become that, right? So why did, like, tell me this, or tell me if I'm wrong, right? When we were young, everybody wanted to be a doctor because it's cool, right? uh, we wanted to be a pilot, right, because it was cool. I wanted to be a thief, right? Because for me at that time it was cool that, okay, there was a guy in our village, right, who'd never get caught and he would steal stuff. So I wanted to be a thief, right? That because it's cool, like, he takes whatever he wants whenever he wants and he never gets caught, right? So because we get influenced by what we see, right? So again, it can mean different things for you, but understand what it means for you. As long as you do, you're good. Now, being a professional, it is more than just doing the work itself, right? It's not that, okay, I'm good at this, so I'll only do this and this only, and people should know that, okay, I'm good at this. We should not have that kind of attitude. In order to be professional, you need to look professional as well, right? What do I mean by this? When I say doctor, everybody has this image in front of your eyes of a guy or a woman with an apron, right? Maybe with a stethoscope as well, or maybe have a safety cap, and then mask as well. That's the identity of a doctor, right? When I say a nurse, you have a vision of a nurse in a specific clothing, right, on an attire. So everybody who is a professional, even a carpenter, when I say a carpenter, you imagine somebody wearing a khaki clothing with paints all over the body, right? That's a carpenter. That's how we portray. So we need to look professional as well, right? We cannot also, whether in SJI or any other places, you cannot just come in wearing a t-shirt, right? Because you're not gonna look professional. And actually it's science that people says when you wear proper clothing, when you tuck in your shirt, right? When you wear a nice shoe instead of just a sneaker, your behavior changes, right? When you go to a wedding, you wear a nice dress. Do you go to a wedding wearing a sneaker? Most likely not, right? You wear nice Oxford shoes, you wear nice ironed pant, nice shirt, or women wear nice dresses. And the moment you put those clothes on, have you noticed the way you walk, it changes, right? Have you noticed the way you carry yourself throughout the whole program when you go in there, right? You become a different person, right? And when you take it off, like, okay, wedding is over, right? Because you were trying to be somebody else. That's not really you. You wanted everyone else to look at you. You wanted to be noticed, right? Or you wanted to portray yourself as somebody nice, as a human being, or good looking. Similarly, in a profession, as a professional, right? The moment you wake up, the moment you wear your shoes, and the moment you dress up, you need to feel like you are doing something, or you are going to do something. When I look at myself, when I see that, okay, I have my shirt tucked in, I'm wearing my shoes, it should give me a perspective that, okay, you know what, I'm going to do something today. I know something, right? People expect me to be somebody while I go to office. I have certain responsibilities, right? People are trusting on me to do certain things, right? But if I just wake up on my sleepwear and if I just come to office or go to office, there's no change within me, right? I'm not changing, or there's the sincerity is not there. The professionalism, to look like a professional, that vibe is not there. The second thing, behave like a professional. Now, when you are a professional, right? Say, imagine you go to a doctor examines, and he says, I think I know what happened with you, and I'm giving you this, maybe you will get better. Are you gonna go to the doctor again? Like, this person does not know what they are doing. So when you go to a doctor, you expect them to be a professional, right? You expect them to know what has happened with you, what is wrong with you. Similarly, if I say, okay, there's some electrical problem in my house, and I call the company, they said, I'm sending an electrician. The guy comes in, he said, do you have a screwdriver that I can borrow? Like, what? Aren't you supposed to be carrying one? Aren't you the professional? So you're not gonna trust that person, right? That, okay, this guy doesn't know anything. He's gonna ruin my house. Instead of fixing my electrical problem, he'll probably create more problem, right? So do the work like a professional. That means not just look professional, behave like a professional, but you need to do the work like a professional as well. That means the trust that people have on you, you have to return that trust, right? If you take certain responsibility, or if certain responsibility is given to you, you need to do it professionally. Now, professionally means on time with quality, right? Initially, you may struggle, but ultimately, that's what will judge how good of a professional you are. Now, I have this image, right? I have it for a reason. So can anybody tell me, is this guy in the picture, is he a professional photographer or is he a hobbyist? Not a trick question. Again, what do you feel who this person is who's taking a picture? Is he a professional photographer or is just a hobbyist?
Hobby, hobby guy.
I guess hobby.
I think it's professional.
I think also professional.
Because the way
Okay.
he's taking pictures is like it sounds like a professional.
And wearing the clothes
And wearing the clothes, there's the usual clothes they
And
always used to
other
do,
stuff
used to put them on their
he
desk.
Okay. And Partha, why did you say not professional?
He is not holding the lenses correctly. His placement of camera in front of his eye is not correct. Even he is wearing a cap which can disturb him while capturing a photo, perfect photo. So this is not sign of a professional. I mean, he is not a, even if he is a professional, he is a newbie. I mean, and something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I agree with Pranay. And also, if he a professional photographer, then he should take a tripod also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can give him a,
Tools
yeah,
for
to
photography.
maybe with a ring bag.
I got your points.
Okay, so see, we have a debate, right? Or we have a confusion. We all cannot agree that, okay, whether he's a professional photographer or not, right? I can add that, okay, I'm not sure whether it is a point or shoot camera or whether it is a DSLR camera, right? His getup looks like of a professional, but his behavior, the way he's holding the camera is not of a professional. He doesn't have the necessary tools, seems like, of a professional cameraman. Right. So that's what I mean. That, okay, are we somebody like this, where people have different opinion about ourselves, or the when people see us, do they mean he doesn't even look like a professional, right? You know, he doesn't even look like to be a good developer or good designer, a good QA, good PM, whatever that is, that whatever that we do in the company. So it is important that, okay, we look into these three things, that we need to look professional first in order to be professional, behave like a professional, and do the work like a professional. Right? When people comes to us with their problem, right? If people come to us, Shahed, and say, okay, I have this problem, help me how best I can have this company running with a new website or new application or whatever, they would expect Shahid to provide suggestions, right? If Shahid cannot provide that, then you know what, SI doesn't know how to do it. Similarly, when Shahid passes this to a PM, he would expect the PM to know what needs to be done, right, on time. If client says, I want the estimate to be done in 2 days, right, then he would expect that, okay, a PM or a manager would take certain responsibility along with the resources, and they will provide the estimate in 2 days. Maybe by first day they will have some questions, but they will not wait till the second day to ask those questions when client would be expecting the estimate. So that's what I mean. Again, it's just an example, right? That it is not just the work, it is not just the development, it is not just doing the QA, not just doing the design work or front-end work, or me being a project manager. It is more than that. Now, choosing the right profession is also important, right? Ask yourself why I am doing it. Right? It's not that, okay, it pays me well. It is important. But the second question actually is more important than the first one itself, if it is only money that you are concerned about, right? do I see myself doing it for next 20 years? Right? Or for some of you, it's actually 30, 40 years. If you are in your early 20s, then you cannot retire till 65, right? Or they are trying to make it 67. So if you are 20, you have to think, okay, do I see myself doing it for next 47 years? For somebody like me, is like, say, another 30 years, right? So ask yourself, whatever you are doing today or whatever you have selected to take it as your profession. Yes, of course, your career will move, right? You will end up being a tech lead, probably CEO of a company or a manager or whatever you are. But the path that it takes you to go there, you see yourself going through that, right? If not, then you are in the wrong place. If you are, right, if you say, yes, I can see it, then find that drive and motivation, right? Because without this, you cannot achieve, right? Remember the quote actually Shahid posted yesterday on his LinkedIn, that before going there, you need to feel like, okay, you know what, I'm there, right? When you want to eat a biryani that you have eaten before, you could feel the smell of that biryani, right? And you get more hungry, right? Or whatever the food is. So do you smell the success? Do you see yourself sitting in there doing that your ultimate goal is? If not, then ask yourself, are you like, why am I doing it? Maybe you haven't thought about it. Again, I'm not saying that you should know this answer right now. Maybe you have not thought about it. So all I'm saying, ask this question, find that drive, find that motivation. And the picture that I have, I think most of us know this, right? That's Mr. Cho from Hangover. I think we all watched the movie Hangover, the small Chinese guy, right? The funny one. So I want to tell his story. Many of you probably know. So before being a comedian, he was a full-time medical doctor in US, licensed medical doctor. But he said in one of his interviews that it's not that he didn't like being a doctor, but he didn't see himself doing it for a long period of time. Rather, he liked to be a comedian. He said that was his motivation, but that's his drive. That's what he liked to do, make people laugh. Or he said, when I see people laugh at my jokes, it gives me the motivation to continue to do that. So he gave up being a doctor and started to look for jobs being a comedian. He was not an overnight success that we think that he is. He's not. He has done stand-up comedies in small clubs in Las Vegas for years. Right? So he gave up his lucrative career as a professional medical doctor, and he wanted to be a comedian. Right? And because of this drive and motivation, now he's a successful comedian. So you need to choose the right profession, or ask yourself, what are you doing? Otherwise, your heart and soul will not be at that job or that position or whatever you are doing. Don't just look for money. Money will come in, right? The famous John Maxwell quote, right? I always tell you guys that if you are passionate about something, don't look for money, but do it so well that people pay you to do it. Right? So are you passionate enough about what you think is your passion? That's the question. And this is the last slide is about the drive your profession with passion. If you are not passionate about your profession, you can never be successful. Right? And don't look at others. That's what we all do. Oh, he's doing that, she's doing that, let me do that. Maybe you don't like that, right? How many times it has happened that you looked at something, some clothes, you think you like it, you went, you bought it, and after day one, you never wore it. but before buying it, you were so convinced that you want it. So don't just look at others. Look at yourself. Look at your strength. Look at your passion. And from that, find the drive and motivation. Right? We have a tendency that, okay, we like to be somebody else. And we forget who we are. So all I'm saying, be yourself. Find out who you really want to be. And see yourself, okay, I am there. 5 years goal. Company would not select a 5-year goal if they didn't see it possible for the existing team members to take it there. But we as an individual, we as a team also need to see it, feel it. 1999 Cricket World Cup, Australia won, right? But at that time, they were actually struggling even to make it to the quarterfinals. They were losing games, nobody was performing well. But one of the interviews, Shane Warne said this, that even though we were struggling, but our team was so involved and motivated that we could see actually ourselves lifting the trophy. I said, we all felt this, okay, no, we are gonna win this cup because we could see ourselves lifting the trophy. And from there on, it's like history, right? They just won every game from there on. Because of the belief system, because they had the drive, that passion, they could see it, that okay, they are winning, they have won the World Cup. They won it. The feel of it, the vibe of it, the noise, the crowd, the praise, those things made them do what they did in 1999. He said it wasn't the coach coming and telling us, oh, play well, oh, you're not doing bad. We all knew it. But also at the same time, we all knew what we needed to do to win the cup. So understand what it is for you, what it means for you. So that's it, guys. Little hard, I believe, the topic or the examples that I gave. But I think, as I said, some of you are new, some of you have been with us for a long period of time. It's just a reminder that what company expects from you, and also how company can help you with your passion, right? With your motivation, right? Opportunities, where they can give you opportunity, what motivates you. Make sure you do discuss this on your one-on-one meeting with your managers, with your peers, with your tech leads, right? Whenever Shara is they are talking to you, do express your opinion, view, right? That okay, hey, I want to do something, I want to do this, this is what I want to learn, this is how I want to do things. Share with your tech lead, hey, I want to try this is something I have learned, I want to do it, right? I'm pretty sure they'll support you. So this is it, not too long. Anybody wants to share anything? Shahara, you are here, I see. Thank you.
Thank you, Arif, for picking me first. So thank you for a topic you selected. It's something we actually don't think about, right? We are always thinking, okay, we finished college or school and we start the job, but we really don't think about that one. The word I would say is professionalism, or am I being professional? And I would say, again, what you're saying, I agree with that. Find your passion and find what you want to do and try things you want to do. But at the same time, it's very hard saying that, especially when you graduate new from university. You're not sure yourself. You really don't know what your passion is. So what my 1% here would be that before you can just decide on what my passion is, try to do well in what you started doing. Try to try this out. Because I also don't want you guys to take this message thinking that what I am doing is not my passion and there is something else is my passion. Not necessarily. So take time to at least do well in what you started doing, right? Find out your weaknesses and strengths from your current work that you are doing. And that's when you will be in a better position to identify whether this is where your passion lies or not. So sorry, Arif, I'm just contradicting a little bit here because of the fact that a lot of these members are new. They just started their career. So even I could talk about myself and Shahid when we started that business. We really did not, at that point of time, didn't think, okay, this is our passion and we want to do this for the rest of our life. It's just with that point of time in our life, this is something that we started doing. But obviously over the years, slowly we realized that's exactly what our passion is, and this is where we want to continue. So for all of you here, understand this, that right now you might not know what your passion is. Right now you might not realize that whether you're good at this or not. So at least put your 100% in what you're currently doing and try to recognize yourself as where your strength lies and where your weaknesses lie, and then work towards whatever your passion is. And the second point about being professional, there's no magic sort of solution out there, honestly. It's just what some of the words you guys, Arif used or even Untitled used, it's just being responsible. Whatever job is given to you. Professional doesn't mean that you just have to have some different sort of criteria or different characteristic. It's just making sure you are respecting the job given to you. You are actually being responsible towards it and fulfilling what is required of you and behaving in that manner. So that's basically it. So a very interesting topic, Arif, very simple and yet quite complicated, I would say. So a good job in some of the examples you used are very, we can relate to. So thank you.
Yep, no, thank you, Shahira. I think you did not contradict. I think you added some more values to what it is that just because you are unsure, but if you are doing a job, that doesn't mean you don't put your heart and soul or your full attention to it. As Shahira said, you may not know right now, right, that okay, whether you really like doing it or not. But if you don't give enough try, or if you really don't see it through, whether I really want to do it or not, then just touch basing it, you're not gonna become an expert in this, right? Or you're not gonna know, right? Just by reading a book, couple of pages, you cannot really necessarily know what the book tells you or what the entire story is about, right? So if you are here, make sure you put your heart and soul, try it well enough to know whether this is something what drives you or not. As Shahira says, they both are developers. So when they started their career, I'm pretty sure they were passionate about it. But then necessity was that, okay, they also understand business, right? That they started this business, they took interest in learning business, understanding business, and they are successful in doing it because over the time they put their heart and soul in understanding this, and then it became their passion. Shahid did not start reading multiple books in one day or one night. He started reading books. He finished one book in 2 months, but then he took interest, like, you know what, I think I like reading books. That's his passion. He reads books. Mentoring, right? He did not wake up one day and say, you know what, let me mentor everybody in the company, right? It doesn't happen that way. He started doing one, he took interest. I said, you know what, let me try to mentor this person. Let me really see if I can help this person, right? Then he said, you know what, I actually like doing it. I like helping people, right? That's how interest generates. It's not that given to you that you will like it or not, but when we are doing it, we must do it with all our sincerity. Not thinking, oh, I'm doing it, I don't know if I'm sure, so let's not put any effort. No, please don't do that. Anybody else wants to share anything?
That's probably me. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Thank you for the
Hi.
topic. It's still a very difficult topic because you cannot say anything right away. I know that before I landed up as a project manager, I tried a couple of jobs and did them for like 2 years each, probably before understanding that something is not the way I would like it to be or not the way I see it. So it's not like the thing you can just say you just decided once and forever. You have to try, and then maybe you'll finally find something, or something finds you in that way. Well, that's on the one hand. And I also, well, I thank you, Shahira, for your
for your not a suggestion, but for your comment, because I feel so related to it. And well, basically, that's what I wanted to say, that sometimes you have to try a couple of times before you find something. And maybe sometimes you just, for a different period of your life, you will have different things that drives you and that are your passion. And sometimes maybe you will need to like change something, but you never know before. And I like the phrase that do whatever, do what you can at the place where you are, and do it now. So it's sort of trying to do this. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Natalia. Anyone else? No. All right, cool. Thank you everyone for joining in.